Hi guys, welcome in. I'm just getting my tablet set up so I can see what's going on. Let's do this. Oh, don't need my crackers in there. No. Let me know if I'm freezing. Welcome, welcome. If I'm freezing up, I'm gonna get off my Wi-Fi and just go to the... Let me know if I'm freezing. The cellular. If I'm freezing up, I'm gonna get off my Wi-Fi and just go to the... cellular. Oh my gosh, I haven't done this in so long. Let's see. I want to make sure that I can answer any questions, or at least try to. Groups. Oh my gosh, I haven't done this in so long. Okay. Perfect. Not freezing, not freezing. Yay! Okay, so if I move this up ever so much, trying something new. So I don't know if you can see me or not. Let's see. Perfect. Not freezing, not freezing. Yay! I think I'm all prepped. I hope I'm all prepped. Move this up ever so much. Trying something new. So I don't know if you can see me or not. Let's see. Okay, there's a delay, but welcome to everybody. I hope that everybody enjoys. I'm going to try to watch the screen and answer questions as I go. I'm going to lower that volume because I don't need the volume on. And then I'm just going to go in the method that I sew this. And so I'm not following the pattern step by step by step, but you will get the gist of everything. I am prepping for a significant market and just thought, well, it's as good a time as any to make this so people can see how it's made. So with that being said, I'm going to throw this back to this sewing machine. I have it on a new tripod so I can flip back and forth between the two machines that I use so people can see that. There'll be a couple things that I have to do over the sewing table and, of course, on the iron. But for the most part, you'll be able to see everything as I sew it. I watch a lot of videos and I realize there's a lot of interaction and you can usually see a lot of times what the people... you can see the person too. I just think it's more important on this one to really see what I'm doing. And so I guess I'll just wait for feedback and we'll go from there. But let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start on this machine. First and foremost, I'm going to prep the two pockets that require to be inset, and then also the pockets themselves. There's such a delay that I don't want you guys to hear my background as well as that, so I can see we have 8 people. Yay. Hey, Vic, how are you? And Carla and Anne and Denise. Oh, exciting, exciting, exciting. Okay, so these are the front pieces. You've got, and I'm not giving measurements because, of course, you have to have a pattern to know the measurements. But this is the front panel, and then this is one of the inside linings. So I'm gonna place the pocket facings. Now, I do one of each on the pocket facings. In the pattern, it calls for 2 of one of them. I do one of each because I don't like the waterproof canvas on the inside of the bag, so that I don't like the waterproof canvas working on the cotton, and I don't want the cotton working on the cork. So I do one of each. It's just my preference. I draw on my lines so that so when I do it, I can sew down the straight lines and then open it up. So that's how I do things. I'm going to grab the tape that I use. So this is tape that you actually put around bandages. Micro pore tape. I use that when I'm putting those on. Feel free to ask questions or chit chat in the live. That's one thing that I wish we had, was interaction a little bit more. But you know, let's see. Okay, so I center this. This little pattern has proven to be such a popular pattern. Woo. This tape just removes really nicely from the fabric once you're done with it. So, okay, so that one is ready. Measure to the top, and then that's where the first placement's going to be. Second one, I kind of try to do like sewing at like sewing time. So placing these, sewing the lines at the same time, for me just works better. This one, it's 1 inch down. I don't like my zipper panel to move around. Can you tell? I get lots of tape, lots of love. All right. So hopefully, not gonna. Tend to hold these really tight and in place because I just don't want them to move around. Stop exactly at, woo, that was good. That could be why this might not work, but we're going to try to make it work. I don't even have my radio on tonight so that we don't get in trouble. It's been an issue lately with, as they call it, the Book of Face. Cutting people off because of music. So trim your strings and then okay, that's ready. When I go over there, of course, I'll mark in the 1/2 inch and then I will cut that open and then we'll flip that around. So first one is done. Woo, let's shed some light on this situation. We've had such nice nights and now it's kind of gone to overcast and kind of gloomy. So no pretty sunset tonight for me. Are you guys talking or everybody's just watching quietly? You're probably like me and have the volume on silent when you're watching something. Okay, I'm going to go open these up. Actually, first, let's sew the pockets. So I have them in the pattern. You'll notice that in my patterns, a lot of times, I've done it both ways, and I don't know which way I like it the best. But I tell you the full size of the pocket, and then I tell you to cut one size and cut the other size. The reason I don't have 2 pattern pieces in the pattern is twofold, actually. I don't want to make another pattern piece. And secondly, I just find it easier to cut one, interface it as a whole, and then cut it in half. Everybody has their own ways of doing things. That's how I do mine. So, not to confuse everybody, but that is how I do mine. I don't use my double-sided tape on these anymore because I've gotten pretty good at holding them, but you certainly can, and in the pattern it tells you to apply the double-sided tape to the tops of both sides of, you know, piece A and piece B. But if you don't need to, you don't need to. So hopefully it all lines up and I don't mess it up. Double-sided tape on my Cellmate and a couple of my other bags is absolutely my friend. I don't like it when my linings move, so you definitely will see me using it later. So zipper tape up, so both sides up on the when you're sewing these zipper panels. So coils up, and then the fabric is right side up as well. I almost had a sticker made to put on my machine because I would screw this up no matter how hard I tried not to. I finally have made enough of these, and it's how I make all of my zippers now. So I don't always make that mistake. Now my biggest mistake is forgetting to put the darn zipper pull on once I have it put on the bag. I've ripped 3 bags apart this week because of that. It's hard when you get in a roll, and then I sew all the way around the bag and I get it all done, and then I hang it up on my door to admire my work, and oh crap, I don't have a zipper pull. More times than I care to admit. Of course, it's not the top zipper, it's the one in the middle. Oh, hey, there is comments. Why am I not seeing comments on my side? Huh, I'm going out of there. I'm getting back in. The whole idea of this is to be able to see comments. Oh, there you are. Watching intently. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to press these open so that they're both open, and I will cut the holes. That over there. And this over here. I have cameras in all areas of my room, but that would mean that I would have to clean my sewing room. And that's a work in progress. Okay. Do the next step on camera because this is how I prep these. I'm super picky about making sure that these holes open up nicely. And so okay, so on this one, I just press it in place. So I fold that under. I know you guys can see that. So I finger press it, and now I'm going to press it with my iron. Make sure to cut to the corners. So I've sliced in the middle. I've left a 1/2 inch at the bottom, and then I don't like these scissors for this. I know we all have scissors laying around. This is not my favorite pair for this. So Sometimes if I've stitched it too far, I'll back that stitch off a little bit so that we get a good opening. Go. Okay, so now this is going to be pulled through, of course. Now, I usually do this sitting at this table, but it's the only way that I can allow you guys to see what I'm doing. And then I go over to the iron and I'll press this one down, and then I'll turn it and I'll press this one down so that the hole opens up. Nice clean lines. Some days I think I'm too picky on these, but I certainly do like the nice crisp line I get. The lining one is done. And then the next one, a little bit more complex on this one. So I take a boning tool and I really finger press this how I want it to be straight across. And then I use my boning tool to create that line. And then the same thing, I pull it down from the top and towards me. The nice thing about this pattern is that this piece actually lines up with the top, and so there is a nice guide there as well when you flip it over. But this waterproof canvas is just less forgiving. It doesn't stay in place as nicely. And then I take a piece of tape kind of down towards the bottom because this isn't going to move anyway once we get it put in place. So looks like that. And then I start with one side and pull it through, and then I go to the other. So come on. Doesn't want to let me be the boss. Oh, that's fine. Probably would help if I would cut the rest of my triangles. I'm just thinking it won't come through there. This is why it's hard to go live, because you get ahead of yourself and then you're like, well, crap, that was stupid. All right, now it will come through. Okay, so keep your finger pressed, and then I just roll it back and roll it back up to where, roll it backwards and then roll it back up to where everything is even, pressing it down. You can do it from the back side or the front side. I tend to do it from the back side so that I can roll the waterproof canvas. then, can you guys see everything? What thread are you using? Oh, hi, Denise. So mine is a bonded nylon thread. It's a 69 weight bonded nylon. I use the same color and weight on everything I do. I never change my thread color. Some people are obsessed with changing thread color, and more power to them. I'm lazy. Okay, so I lined that up at the top there, which gives you a really nice edge. So right there. Ooh, that looks party, party, party. I don't like how I can't see the darn comments. No, it's a company that is not in existence anymore. It is, and if they ever come back into existence, I'm gonna buy all they have again. It's Linnahall. So there was a guy on one of our groups that was selling a bunch of their stuff out, and I bought some of these cones, and then I was almost out, and I contacted him again because I couldn't get a hold of this company, and he had 24 1-pound rolls of it. I said, I'll send you a shipping label. I want them all. So I have enough for a while, but in a box sits underneath my desk over here. But I'm super worried when I run out what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to match the color to something because the color absolutely goes with everything. Sorry for my dogs. They think they're ever so helpful. Okay, I'm putting on the double-sided tape so I can attach the zipper. Yeah, if you find they're still in existence or if they've gone to a different manufacturer, I would love it because they are amazing. Okay, so those are ready now. Note to self, Kathy. Put my pulls on. One. Make sure that your long pieces to the back and your short pieces to the front. Just like that. Okay. Same thing when you're putting it on here, so I feel like I need to open this up. Like I said, I'm usually doing this on my other workstation, so, but I want you to see it. And then what I do is I will go on and I make sure that these ends both line up, and then however you line up your zippers is what works for you, but you want to center your zipper in the hole here. harder when I'm doing it over here. I do use that line that there is on the zipper tape. I do use that as a good guide. And sometimes I'll readjust this as I get it on the machine over there. Okay, so that one's on. Keep your top up. Yeah, I just think that the kind of the neutral colors just works. This color that I have is definitely on the grayer side. I think of it as a taupe or you know, that brown gray. All right, so same thing here. Measure up your sides. Fish your zipper pull. All right, we're ready to go to the other machine. We're going to sew around this and we're going to make the front pocket. All right, first time we're going to try this fancy fandangled thing. Ready? Swoop around. Just like there. Ha-ha, it worked. All right, this is machine number 2. My drawer's open on my toolbox because it acts as my holder of everything as I'm sewing in piecemeal. So, all right, so now we're gonna sew the bottom of the zipper in place, and then we'll move to the next one. I like how that looks. I do go with the longer stitch length on this. Ooh, I don't like that. Nice thing about it, cotton, is it's forgiving for where I want to place my stitches. And then okay, I always flip it over and then pull my strings to the other side. Can you see that okay? Yep. Pull it over and then tie your knot with your strings. This just makes it so that when I am sewing over the edges on the ends, it feels like it's not as messy because you're already got 2 lines of sewing on that. And then you add back stitches on top of it. I just feel like it's a lot. So I pull them to the back and then I typically will burn my threads. So turn that around. The first time I excuse me. Excuse me. First time I heard about somebody, they were going to show how to do these zipper pockets, I was so intimidated. Oh my goodness. I'm still intimidated by really good seamstresses because I don't really necessarily think of myself as a seamstress. I just enjoy making bags. That's my thing. You just enjoy this. Enjoy the hardware, enjoy all of it. I had a really good lesson taught to me today, and it's one that we should always remember, but we never do, to not undervalue ourselves. I'm getting ready for this event. I have a beautiful combination of a bag, not sitting, it was hanging in my office. I wasn't there because I had an appointment. And my assistant believes in my work wholeheartedly. She's pretty awesome. Don't tell her I said that out in public. Just kidding. So she had a client come in and she was working on some quotes for them. Okay, so you did see that I flipped that down and then I sewed the pocket into place at the top. And then again, pull your threads and then tie them off again. So 2 sets of tie-offs. So Jess is trying to help him. The husband's sitting at the desk and the wife is wandering around. I had patterns on my desk because I printed them for the event. It just, I don't usually allow clients to walk around my office and that, but she sees the purse and she is intrigued. And it's an olive board. So it's a smaller purse, but it has a lot of zippers. And she asked Jess how much it was. And Jess didn't know. And it was labeled. The bag was labeled with the price on it. But she asked Jess, and Jess said, I don't know, it's not for sale. She's taking it to a market. And the woman says, well, how much is it? She goes, I don't know. It's probably like $150. And the woman instantly says, I'll take it. And Jess said, no, I don't think you understand. It's going to a market. And she goes, no, it isn't. It's sold. I'll be here Wednesday to pick it up. $150 for an olive board. She said the workmanship is high quality and all of this. Well, in the meantime, the lady's looking up my stairs. She wants to go upstairs where all my hardware is. And Jess is like, you can't go up there. So the gal says as she's leaving, okay, I'm going to come back on Wednesday and I want that purse and I want this pattern. So lesson learned, we shouldn't undervalue ourselves because that pattern was marked, or that bag was marked for almost half of that. And the woman didn't bat an eye. So that was pretty cool. Why the other machine? Let's see. Ooh. I think we're good there. Sorry, I'm making sure of what you're... Okay. So I have 2 machines because this one is my workhorse and the top stitching is absolutely gorgeous, but it does not do zippers very well. So that machine is for my zippers and my lighter fabrics, and this is for the heavier fabrics, the thicker fabrics, and it's the double walking. So this does most of the workhorse stuff. That other one does all the light stuff. All right, be a little bit more picky on this one because this is your front pocket. down the side and up. And then the same thing, we're going to tie off the threads, pull down the top, and sew across the top. I'll check for comments here in a second. All right, fold that down. I usually try to make sure that I hit the same hole on the sides for the zippers, just so that it doesn't make those sides look wonky. Okay. Tie off again. I always feel like I spend so much time sitting here tying knots on pockets. Well worth it if they don't come undone, but still, good grief. The other machine, I have a thin zipper foot on, so I can get really close to things like the edges over here. That's another reason that I like that machine. This machine, you can't put those... Changing out the zipper feet is a lot bigger pain in the neck, which is why I don't like to do it. Changing out the foot in general. So, okay, so that is... good to go. I'm going to sew and close up the sides here in a minute. Before we do that, we're going to put the front pocket together because we're already on this machine. So, right sides together on the slant pocket. And then, looks like my... just like that. 1/4 inch seam allowance. Drop your seams down. A really cool technique on these pockets. I have not done a lot of them like that, but I've done it on another one, is to wrap your front to your back, but leaving a little bit out there. It's a really cool technique. It just gives this some definition. But you'll want to make sure that, of course, you cut this pattern piece about 1/2 inch longer if you're going to do something like that. So you could put an iron to that really quick if you want to. You don't have to. Make sure that you're pulling your edges down and those are meeting, and then you're getting a nice finished line up here. You can use the clips if you want to. You don't have to if you don't need them. Hello, Peggio. Let's see. Oh. Oh, thank you. This is the marble from Cork and Cloth. I love this color. And it works so well with that butterfly. Whew, works so well. All right, so double stitch, or not double stitch, stitch across the top stitch across the top of your pocket. Okay. So that pocket is virtually done. I have already cut the area for my label. So this is the time that I put the label on, because otherwise, oh, did I not do this one? No, I did not do this one. Okay, I'm going to go over and do it really quick. I center my label in this area, I think about 5 inches up from the bottom. Let me check my notes. Yes, centered 5 inches up from the bottom. Thought I was so prepared. All right, so then put your label in. I think I prepped. I have 2 other Denali Girls prepped, and I think I poked the holes in those instead. Wasn't sure which one I was going to sew first. I thought that this one would show up a little bit better. Probably overkill, but I always put duct tape over my labels. I just don't want them sliding around. All right. I have a protective piece of tape already cut, so I'm going to put it on the top just to keep it from scratching. It's not really going to be metal to metal on anything, but it'll keep it from any issues. All right, so that is done. Now let's, I'm going to close up these pockets really quick. Let's see. I wasn't going to bring you around, but I am, because this is an inside lining, so I'm not going to close it all the way. So this one, so you can see the thinness of this foot. Pretty much 1/4 inch is what I use. This lining's a tiny bit longer on one side, so not going to hurt anything. need to angle this out. You can, this is when it's really nice to have that thinner presser foot. The only thing I don't like about this machine is that it does not like to give me my threads. So you see me adjusting the wheel, and the guy that I bought it from, I'm pretty positive he can fix it for me. So I just got to take in the whole head to him. It's just really tight. Doesn't like to release the threads. Okay, so on this one, you're just going to sew down the sides, because we're gonna leave open the bottom so that we have our turning area. Now, this pattern's different from any of the other patterns that I have in the manner in which we turn. There's two options in the pattern. One of which is just the traditional turn through the center pocket, and the other one is through the bottom. And I'm going to turn this through the bottom and then through the pocket. That's how I'm going to do that. I use sew up the bottom from the pocket is essentially how that works. It's a pretty cool technique. And I didn't think it was going to be that easy for me to write it into the instructions, but it came together pretty easy. Well, hello, Sister Tammy. Okay, so did not sew that. What's going to end up happening here is I'm going to finger press that open. Same thing right here. I like to prep this ahead of time. That way when I'm ready for this bag to be done, I'm not holding back on what I should have continued to prep. So I'm going to get this folded at about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then I'm going to press it into place. And that way this pocket is ready to be sewn when we close up the bag. So I'm going to press that. Thought my iron stopped on me. Okay. So that is all prepped and ready to go. That piece is done. So we've got the zipper on there. Make sure you open up the zipper at this point. That's a really good time to open the zipper. My cam. Let's see. Thanks, Tash. I moved my camera to my new, to the other machine. All right, so, all right. Give me 1 second. I need to trim this one side up. For some reason, my pocket is a little bit wider at the bottom. Oh, trimmed it. Okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, let's swing you around. All right, so now we're going to put this pocket, the slanted pocket on top and sew it into place. What the devil? Okay, I have to go trim these to their sizes. I must have used a different pattern piece. How silly. Oh, I did not. Can you tell it's been a while since I've made this pattern? The tops are wider for a reason. Okay, so get yourself some of your clips. You want to clip the bottom into place. Like this. Now, this is what I was looking at. See how these two are a little bit different in the sizes at the top? That is to make sure that when we're sewing this together, we're gonna line up these sides, but it gives a little bit of give in the front so your pocket isn't so tight that pulls the cork. So that's the reason for that. So what I do is I will hold this and then I pull the top in to meet the side. Just like that. Pull this one in to meet the side. Just like that. And then we're going to stitch around it so that it holds it in place. It looks kind of weird in the beginning, but it definitely makes a difference. When my testers and I tried this, it was a suggestion of one of the testing crew. Big difference, big difference. Okay, so just make sure to pull that over. Okay. I will tell you that on a lot of my Denali girls and also the Lady Denali, I did put a magnet on the back pocket on that one. I've really ended up liking having a small magnet on the front pockets as well. I would suggest the 14 millimeter, 18 millimeters a little bit overkill for it. And you just want to center it and kind of have it in this void area. If you put your label right here, they do fight a little bit with each other, but not horribly. And it's a nice feature to have the magnet there. So because I was sewing for you guys and it's not in the pattern, I did not do it on this. But I would recommend if you like a more secured pocket that you do add a magnet there. And I would say the 12 to the 14, I carry the 14 millimeters, so that's what I use. But that's what I would do on that. Okay, so now we're going to put the tops and bottoms on. So this is the top and the bottom. The top I do add Decaville to. I just like the way that it firms up that top piece and gives a really nice nice finish to it. Head over extra on there, so just cut it off. So I do Decaville light on the top piece, and then on the bottom piece in the pattern, Decaville heavy is optional. It is not optional for my liking. I put it on there because I do like the firmness of that around the base, given the fact that it is a conceal and carry. if somebody does have a weapon in there, or even a tablet. We don't even have to get into that debate. Even a tablet, it's going to hold up a little bit better. It's going to be more structured. So I always put the Decaville heavy, but I do keep it out of the seam allowance because it is easier for it to finish off these edges. So I cut this a 1/2 inch narrower on all 4 sides. So that's how I work with that. You're going to put right sides together, adding this to the top. Sew it in place across the top. If you're more comfortable using double-sided tape, as is in the instructions to put this in place, feel free to do so. Just make sure you're keeping it in place. So the top is on. Same thing with the bottom, but on the bottom, nope, on the bottom you're going to go all the way across on this one. It's on the bottom panel that we're going to change the, we're sewing a little bit, so sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. You're going to sew right up against the Decaville on this. If you need to pull on your piece a little bit, just to, you know, kind of line up those edges, it's not going to hurt anything. Sometimes when you add the Decaville, it shrinks it just a tiny bit. So I just pull on it and line it all up. Are we getting a good enough view? Sorry, I'm looking for... Cool. All right, so now we're going to flip this over and top stitch it. So I did both the top and the bottom, and then I do the top stitching all at the same time so I can adjust my stitch length. And I usually go to at least a little bit over a 4 on my stitch length. So get that flipped over. The more precise you are on this, the nicer your product's going to be, of course. All right. I don't keep my Decaville light out of the stitch lines because it's not as hard to turn over. Okay. Woohoo! Making progress. Completed front of your bag. So we can set this aside, and then we're going to start making the back pocket. So we've got the front pocket, or the front pocket's done, the back front panel. We have the inside pocket done, and now we're going to do the back pockets. So we're going to come back around here. Okay, I think that's a good view. Okay. I don't know, I feel like we're probably about, I don't know, maybe 2/3 of the way done. So we're making good progress. Okay. I'm just looking. I think my daughter was here and then left me. All right. Thanks, Vic. All right, so now this is the back pocket. So when I have you cut this in the pattern, I give you both sizes, but I do encourage you, if you have a directional fabric, if you have something that has something to be lined up like this, you can see that the butterfly fabric, this butterfly and everything lines up. So what I do is I cut 2 back pieces. So in 2 pieces that are the same size as the front panel. So cut 2 of those, and then I cut off this piece so that I can maintain the directional fabric or the look of the specialized, like this one, so that the butterfly looks complete even though it'll be separated by the zipper. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. And then we have 2 pieces of waterproof canvas. We have a short piece and a long piece. They are cut separately in the pattern. So the short piece and the long piece. We're going to put the loop tape on both of them, and we're going to move it in from the left edge. These guys are going to be adjusted, but if we do it from the left edge, then that stays uniform, because these pockets end up lining up like this. And so from the left edge is what you're going to work on. So take your first one. The soft loop tape is this, and you can see it's pre-cut into the sizes that are on the pattern. I did just get a restock of this soft loop tape, so I have a full box of it now. And I don't think I've added it on the website, but I do have a good amount of it. It works perfectly for this. You don't have to put 2 together. You just got home. Wish I could see these darn messages easier. Feel like I'm doing a disservice. Hello, pineapple watermelon daughter of mine. She's just making sure. I actually have her working on a project this weekend, and she loves her mother enough to do it. Thank goodness. She's going to try to put my logo on some shirts for me. So I have to be nice to my daughter. Okay, double-sided tape, definitely a must on this one, just to keep it in place. It's just pretty random as to where I put it, actually. It's Friday. I might even get another one of these done tonight. Ooh, be still my heart. So according to the directions in the book, not the book, the pattern, silly me. You'll want to center this short side, find your center, just like this. Center it right there. Ooh, this piece is not cut center. Okay. Okay. So that one is placed. My machine came unthreaded. You know what it is when you know you should have your glasses on for something like this, but you're being stubborn and you don't want to put them on? Yay! I won! Okay. So now we're going to sew all the way around this. I usually just go in the width of my foot. Nobody sees this, so it's just making sure that it's secured in place. Your waterproof canvas doesn't like to move most of the time with the machine, so mine gets stuck on the bed of my sewing machine. That's why I kind of lift it up from the edge. So that one is secure. Okay. Same thing, 3/4 of a, or it's actually 1 3/4. Sorry. Don't give her measurements, Kathy, and then you give measurements. Way to go. Ooh. Oh, hi, Shelly. Welcome. It is an SVG, hun, but if I sent you the wrong one, it's in Canva, if that helps you. It probably will. But it is saved in Canva. Or I can send it to you later, and I apologize. I just use a ruler to get this started. So I use my ruler and bring it in from the side, and then I will line up the loop tape with that, is what I'm doing with that. Oh, Shelly, to answer your question, I have my original machine is the workhorse. It's the one that I just did all the top stitching on. It is a Conso 1206 Premier. This machine I purchased afterwards because I was just having a really hard time placing zippers with that machine because it's a double locking foot, and the feet are interchangeable. I don't want to say that they're not, but they're not easy to interchange. And I couldn't find one that I liked that I would have to keep switching them out. And so I decided to add another machine to my arsenal because I do sew so many bags. And that's what this one does. So this is more of a lightweight machine. It does all my zippers and my, if I'm sewing linings together and stuff, this is the machine I use for that, for this one. I used to go back and forth with my chair, so my roller chair, I'd have to go back and forth. And I now have a really cool chair on the other one that is a stationary chair that kind of moves back and forth. So it's on a pedestal. It's pretty cool. All right, so those are done. And now we're going to make this cool pocket. Okay. I already prepped this this pole. I did it a long time ago because I've had this ready to do a live with you guys for a long time. So I prepped the zipper already, and it's just got the tabs at either end. So I won't be doing that part of it because I've already got it prepped. Okay, so we're going to start with the short piece because the short piece measures up with this. So this is how this is going to go on here. So take your edge that you want the zipper attached to. Make sure if you're using directional fabric or that again, that these are the way that you want them to look because you don't want to have to redo it. So to the left of the zipper is this end, and to the right of the zipper is this end. So I'm going to pull these apart just like this. This is just the way I do it because that way I can keep it straight in my head. If it helps you, great. If you have a different way of doing it, it's all good. So, and then I put my double-sided tape on the other piece that will have the other side of the zipper. That way I know when I grab it, I'm not grabbing the wrong side, flipping this around, and then that's when the oh craps happen. So, okay, and then take the waterproof canvas, and then you're going to want to put your double-sided tape on those as well. Make sure that you are doing it from the correct side. I just prep them both. It's just easier. Okay. So this piece and this piece are the next ones. Now we're going to take the main piece, and then all right, lay that against the ruler. Find the center of your zipper. Oh, big deal. Make sure that your zipper pull the top, so the opening, it's going to go to the top. So you're going to open it down. You just want to make sure that you're placing this the right way. So how you want your, in this case, the way that this is sitting for me, the pocket is backwards. So I'm going to make sure that the zipper pull is, the top of it is facing me. I hope that makes sense, because this is just really crucial. Otherwise, you're going to have a bottom opening zipper, and you don't want that. So you're going to right sides together, line up your tape, just like this. I use the ruler just as a guide. It really helps to just kind of make sure you get it centered. Again, the zipper is moving towards the top, so it's going to open from the top to the bottom. So once you know that that is accurate, press that down, and then take your short piece of your waterproof canvas, the side that we put the double-sided tape on, and bring that over the top and line up the edges and the sides. So however works best for you to squish these together, do that. You're just going to get a really nice pocket right here. Okay, so however you're most comfortable sewing on your machine. Some people have Teflon feet. Some people don't. Just whatever. Doesn't matter what side you're sewing this on. Just whatever moves the best. I find that the cork moves along the bed a little bit easier, so I stick with that. Move your zipper out of the way. Don't let your bobbin thread break. Or run out. I knew that was going to happen. But I have an extra right here. I almost checked that before I went live and thought, it's pretty quick to switch out a bobbin. Back to threading the needle with no glasses on. Woohoo! Okay. Okay. If you don't have mistakes, it's not living, right? All right, so now you're going to take your waterproof canvas, finger press it down, pull your zipper tape out, and fold them back all the way around. You can see that they line up at the top. And now we're going to go back over to the other machine, and that's where the top stitching happens. So then we're going to top stitch right here and then put the other side on it. So ready for a ride. Actually, I'm just going to quick fast top stitch this. I should not do that. Okay, that's how fast that was, so no reason. It would have taken me longer to zip it around. So this part of your pocket is ready. And then we are ready to move to the other side. So now take your other piece, your small piece, take off your double-sided tape, and then put this in place. Make sure you're lining up with the edges of the other, the bottom part of the pocket so that everything lines up together. Your tabs are going to stick out a bit from the sides. We're gonna shore all of that up once we get done. So that in place. Okay. Give me just a second. I gotta think this through. Okay. So once you have this piece on here, flip the pocket over. Right sides together, you're going to put your pocket piece on there. So right sides together, lined up at the top and lined up at the edges. Okay, the reason that you're doing it this way is because these two pieces are then together in the right fashion. And then all we're doing is flipping up and over this part and top stitching it like this. So that's why those two pieces are already right sides together. I feel like there's probably questions because this is the most questioned part of this pattern. So I'm going to go in and see if I can find any. Okay. Not the flower. Oh, oops. Oh, no questions. Woohoo! Okay, so sew this in place. I hope I'm doing okay on giving the instructions. It really wasn't meaning for it to be a full instructional video, but if I talk you through it, then hopefully. I can't tell you, there's one pattern that I've made a lot, but I still refer back to the video that was done just for different tips, tricks, and that. And so that's why I kind of talk through it. That I don't have a radio on, so I got to talk to myself. Okay, so that is now ready. I'm going to top stitch down here, and then I'm going to cut off those edges, and you can see this side's a little bit longer, so I'm just gonna square everything over. And actually, I'll bring you over here. Okay. Okay. We're over here because we're going to be over here for a little while. So... Okay, I'm going to go square this up and I'll be right back. All right, we're making progress. Oh, yay. I'm glad, Denise. Sometimes I feel like I'm over talking or over analyzing things. Okay. Here we go. Time to put the top and bottom on this one. This pocket is intimidating, but really the way that I designed it, it just goes together fairly simply. It's just a matter of once you do it, it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. I really don't like things to be hard to do. So it tends to sometimes bite me in the butt. It's part of the reason I don't quilt, because I like to sew, and my sewing machine took a 15-year hiatus because I quilted, but hot dang, quilting takes so long to have a completion point. And I know a lot of quilters make a lot of quilts quick, but I was not one of those peoples. I made quilts for my family for Christmas one year, and whew, that was a lot. Not that I didn't enjoy it, it's just that it was just one of those deals. I thought I put my zipper on wrong after I told you guys all that. I did not. Okay. All right, so now it's time to put the top and the bottom on. Again, make sure your zipper is going to the top. Top, because I almost screwed that up. So top and bottom. So we're going to put this one in place. The other night I was trying to find an easier way to do the top of a cellmate with with a zipper tab. I don't like zipper tabs on the small cellmates because I don't recommend them, just because they it just takes up so much of your space in the bag when you're trying to, you know, functionally use it. But I thought, okay, I'm gonna try something new. By the end of my trial and error of the new, that whole bag went in the trash. It didn't work. All right, so now this side. We'll say this machine is way more finicky on the thread tails. flip that over and do your top stitching. Ouch. Encasing this pocket the way that we do does a couple of things. It looks nice with the bottom panel on it, but it also gives a stop point of whatever's in this pocket. It doesn't slide down to the bottom of the bag. So that's really why that was designed like that. There's just some days that I wonder when designers are designing their bags, okay, what was the purpose of this? Because obviously there's a purpose, or maybe there isn't, but I think there's a purpose for most everything. And so why did they do it that way? Sometimes just nice to have the insight. All right. Front and back, done. Woo-hoo-hoo. This bag really doesn't take that long when you're sewing it up, which is, I feel, a really nice feature of it. But, I mean, look how nice that looks before we get everything else done. I mean, I think that it just comes together super nice. Okay, so now it's time to put the front and the back together, and then the bottom is assembled after the top is sewed into the zipper. So I'm going to put this over on the other machine because we're going to use the other machine to sew the zipper in, but we're going to prep the big zipper now. I didn't do that off camera. So what I have here is I have the zipper tape, the tab, and the pull. And then we're going to also prep the strap tabs. So put your pull on. So this is the point where I would probably make the strap as well. I'm at this machine. These are all the small things that go into the next steps of the bag. And I typically do like to have my strap done ahead of time, because when I am at the point of turning the bag, getting it all stitched up, getting the lining stitched together, I'm ready to see this completed bag. I'm impatient. Goes back to that quilting thing. So I do try to get the strap done usually at this point. I happen to have a strap that I had already prepped prior to this, and so I'm just going to use it. It is a cork strap, but it's already prepped and ready to go, and so that one is already prepped, and I figured that most of you know how to make the straps, so, and it's a cork strap, so it's just a matter of I sew down the sides and put it together. Okay, so I have the zipper tab put on, right sides together. Most instructions will tell you to sew this line at 1/4 of an inch. I won't tell you that because I don't like zipper tabs. I know they're functional and I know that we have to use them, but they're still not my favorite. And until I can perfect the next big thing, I haven't even started it, so not sure when I'm going to perfect it. I do as minimal a strap tab on the top or not strap tab, as minimal a zipper tab on the top as I can. With that being said, I sew this line at about 1/8 of an inch. This is a really skinny side of the foot over here, and so it ends up being right at 1/8 of an inch, or just over it. So sew your line right sides together on these. And then I pull this. You can see that that's not, it's not a very wide area. So then I pull this all the way around, fold it to the back, and I get it as tight as I can. You can see that the zipper tab ends up not being very wide. Not as wide as some of them, I'll say it that way. You still have to have the width on there to, you know, get your stitches and stuff put in there, but I do just like a thin tab, so that's how I make mine. Put my finger at the back of it just to be able to push it back when I'm doing the knot. So then I cut off the strings, flip this over, hold this, and I just cut it across. So some people, you know, they'll glue that down or what have you. I really just haven't found the huge need for it because you're encasing it and you're sewing on both ends. And if those stitches come loose, then we got bigger issues than the idea that we didn't glue the back of this. So I don't do that. Okay, so this can get moved over to the other machine. We're going to put that in, and now we're going to make the tabs. I just top stitch the cork is all I do on this. Clip off your extra strings. This machine likes to, if I don't move those strings out of the way well enough, it likes to pull them all the way back through the stitching. So I'm just pulling them out. There we go. Okay, so then cut this in half. Just like that. Now you have the two tabs, and then I just like to sew across here so that they stay together. That's all. I don't always even backstitch on these because it's really just to make sure that they get in place on the bag. Sometimes putting the knot in there is just second nature. I just kind of clean up the zipper ends so they're not sticking out anywhere. Not the zipper ends, the threads. Okay, so those are ready to go. And now we are ready to assemble the bag to the top zipper. So we're going to move back over here. Right. Have I made everybody dizzy yet with my moving camera? Okay, so take the front of your bag and the lining piece without the zipper. sure your lining's however you want it to be on there. I do use zipper or double-sided tape on these because I don't want that top moving. Okay. So remove the backing there. These we're going to use at the next one. And I take my rulers and I go in. Okay, so this is probably going to vary because I can't remember what I wrote in the pattern because I made so many of these. On your zipper tape, I go in 5/8 of an inch. So I line this up 5/8 of an inch in. I've just found that's my sweet spot on it. So for me, that's where the sweet spot is because I'm going to put the strap tabs inside of that, and it just all kind of flows together. So, like I said, it's kind of just the sweet spot for me. All right. So now you're going to line your line the lining to the top of your zipper tape. Pull it off of the board or off of the table if you need to. This is just kind of habit for me, so I do kind of pick it up and just line them up. Got caught on my finger. There we go. Okay, so you can see that those are all lined up. They're matched up to the sides. Everything is lined up. I then flip it over and I make my mark because I am using the method to pull back the zipper tape to cause it to go backwards. So because I just danced to my own drummer, 5/8 of an inch on that as well. So I make my mark 5/8 of an inch in. Then I open these up just like this. And I make a snip in my zipper tape. Yes, I make a snip in the zipper tape. And I do it because it's inside the seam allowance. And I'm already pulling that zipper back and around, so it's not going to affect the structure of the zipper. That's why I do it. I know there's debate out there, but that's it. It has worked fabulously for me for a long time, so I stick with it. So start sewing. Move your zipper. Pull out of the way. Okay, I get all the way down to my line, and I will say I'm pretty picky about this. I will lift up. I will use the knee lift, and I will make sure that my needle is in just before the line or on the line, not over it, on it, or just before it. Pull these apart, and then pull your zipper, and you can feel it because where you did the snip in there, there's a give. So if you pull that out of the way, these two stay lined up pretty nicely. And it's partially because of that snip that I have found works so fabulously. And so then I just push these back together because the double-sided tape is there. If I need to use my pliers, I'll use my pliers and kind of pull the lining back because sometimes it likes to sneak back there. Keep a hold of this. I do one stitch, and as I'm stitching, as this needle's coming up, I pull this tighter to even get this further out of the seam allowance. So right there, I'm pulling it tighter, and then I actually go back over the top of it because I just want it to be double secured in there. I found that even if I have to pull the stitches on this, if I mess up, because I freely will tell you I mess up a lot. If I have to pull the stitches here, a lot of times the method that I have used for this will keep that zipper in place. So even if I have to pull this off, I'm able to put a piece of double-sided tape over the top of it to keep that zipper from moving. And so then what I do is I cut off the top. Now you're even and you're good to go on that side. And then I'm going to iron this in place. So iron it back away from the front, and then we're going to top stitch it. All right. I'm just going to top stitch this really quick. Okay. Biggest thing on that I will say is just to make sure that you have pulled those down flush and out of the way so that everything lines up and you've just got a really nice line at the top. So now you can see both of my pulls are going the right direction. And now we're going to add the back side. Okay, making sure I have comments. All right, so we're going to add the top. If you haven't already opened up your zipper, this zipper pocket, make sure that you get it opened so that when we do turn it, that's not an issue. I don't use locking zippers, so if I forget that, I don't find it to be an issue, but some people use locking zippers and then it is an issue. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to put the strap tabs in place. Okay. So okay, on the strap tabs, as those were 5/8 of an inch, and I will share that I use these measurements on most of the bags that I do. So I'm going to go in 1 inch and 1/8. So 1 inch and 1/8. Why the extra 1/8? Because I find that the tab at the top of the zipper, I kind of just want it to nestle against that. I don't want it to be fighting for space, and it seems to work out really well for me. And then line up your tabs at the top, right there. I don't know if you guys have seen these rulers that I carry. They're a nice ruler. I've got 1 inch and 1/2 inch. I was the very first person because now it's been copied, and I wasn't happy about this, but what do? Was the very first person to put the hole right there in the center, so it acts as a nice way for you to center a rivet coming down in the right area. But these are pretty cool, and I sell them as a set, and they're way less expensive, just so you know. A set is like $8 for 2 acrylic rulers, which is a really good deal. So shameless plug for the rulers, but they are really nice rulers, and I use them a lot. So especially just for small things on my table. Okay, so then I take the double-sided tape, and then I go back over the top of the tab. Don't probably have to, but I just feel like then the tape stays in place a little bit nicer. So I go over the top. And then bring your top piece over here. And here's what I'm talking about. See how this side, it lines up right here, but look how nicely that nestles in right next to the tab. I mean, it just works out really nice. So just proof in the pudding. The harder you work at lining all this up to begin with, of course, the nicer bags you're going to have. But you guys all make beautiful bags. So just trying to give you tips where I can find them. I was just telling my assistant, we were going through some training at the office, and you know, it's sales training, and you're learning how to do things. If you can take a class and you can take one tiny nugget of information out of that class, you've just really made progress. You're not going to learn a ton out of every class, but if you can take a little nugget, then it's a win. So that's my theory on the whole thing. So then line up your lining, right sides together. Okay. And then, once again, I think everybody's sleeping. I'm down to 6 people. But this is going to be out there for people to use later. There we go. Okay. Again, we're at 5/8 of an inch, which is just on the side of the zipper tab. So just like that, you get through the zipper tab and can go in there. Still here, Denise. You're in it for the long haul. I appreciate that for sure. I know it's late. Alaska time can be so daunting for those in other places. I was reminding Jess today, okay, when I'm gone, there's a 4-hour time zone difference, so remember that. Okay, so straight down again. Okay, so this is how this side usually goes. I usually will start sewing, and I always go over the strap tab twice. So just like that, go over the strap tab, come down here. Okay, so now I'm at the point where I'm going to move the zipper pull out of the way. I open this back up, do the same thing that I did on the other one. I snip that. Move your zipper pull and keep going. I don't ever want to have somebody come back and say, my strap came off. So I'm just kind of picky about it. Okay, pull that up. Same thing, pull that tight and around. Your lining will pull to the edge again. Make sure you put the double-sided tape back in place. Pull as you're going up the one stitch. And then do your back stitch. And then cut that off. And then, okay, so now I'm going to iron that away from the top, and we're going to go over and top stitch. The rest of this bag gets finished on the other machine. So okay, so come back over here. Welcome back to this side. Oh, you haven't made one yet? Oh, somebody said it's almost 1 a.m. there. Hopefully they get to watch it. I'm going to go back through and answer the questions as we go. Oh, it's Kathy that said that. Yes, 11:30 there. Ooh, holy cow. 8:30 here, so we've been sewing for about 2.5 hours, which is not terrible on this bag. Having it prepped sure helps. It's the cutting out of this, you know, all of the pieces that kind of make this tedious. But Kathy, we're gonna zoom along and get it done so you can see it. Okay, so pull your lining down. Make sure that you've got everything lined up nicely. Hold on for dear life, going over the strap. Get your zipper all nice, and I spend a lot of time just making sure that I've got things finger pressed and put together. Pull that out of the way. You can see that my zippers actually don't line up perfectly on the side, but amazingly the finished product, that's not even noticeable. I don't know what it is, but it drives me crazy that there can be a little bit off there, but at least it comes together well. Okay, so we're good on that. That is top stitch. So now we're going to put the bottom on the bag. Now, like, we're super close at being done on this. So, got that. And then, what did I do with the base? Really sure I made this before I even came on camera. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I gotta cut the lining base. That just stinks. so sorry. I'm hurrying. I'm going to find it as soon as I'm done with this bag. I guarantee it. Okay. So we've got both of our bottom pieces. The Decaville Heavy is put on the bottom with the seam allowances not covered. So again, this is just going to make it easier. Make sure that you have a good mark on these, because this is going to make a difference on these. So you want your marks to be visible, because you're not going to sew these corners all the way to the edge. And don't write on your cork. Okay, so make sure that looks like that, and then you're going to want to find the center of this. Okay. Same thing on this one. I always just run a line on this of a 1/4 inch because it makes it easier to see where I'm supposed to be sewing. Of course, you know, I've got the 1/4 inch seam allowance marked on my machine, but I just want to make sure I don't mess this up, especially when it comes to getting the corners on this one done, because your start and stop on these is in that corner, which is why it's important to have those there. Okay, so now we're gonna move everything away. Here, start on the front or the back, it doesn't matter which one, and then you'll want to center your bottom onto this. So find your center. I always keep this ruler here because I just find it helpful. So right there. You don't have to tape this in place. It really can just be clipped, because it's really not going to move. If you have a problem with it moving, tape it in place. Okay, so we'll start with this one. Okay, so you're going to put your needle down in the 1/4 inch in from the edge. So line up your stuff, needle down at the 1/4 inch. And then your seam allowance is right at 1/4 inch. If you're a little scant on that because the bottom is, you know, the Decaville's infringed in that at all, it's okay. Not the end of the world. Not going to hurt the look of the bag. And then you're going to come across and you're going to stop at the 1/4 inch. So start and stop at the 1/4 inch. So you've got that side done. And now you're going to get to your front piece. This one right here. See how I turn that over? So now the front piece is facing me. Everything else is out of the way. Front piece is facing me. Again, find your center. I like to use the silver marking pens, the leather marking pens on this. So there's your center. Find your center there, bring the top to this, just like this, and line those up. So centered, and then put it in place again. There we go. Can you see okay? Somebody said something. Hour time difference isn't terrible. It's the 3s and 4s that are whew. Okay, so then flip this around like this. And then again, starting at the 1/4 inch. This is much like making the everyday tote. Same theory on this, but this technique isn't taught in that pattern. It came out well after the pattern was released. And I can tell you, the first time I made that bag, the fate of it almost happened the same that happened with the cellmate the other night. I can tell you that much. Okay, so we're not going to do anything with these sides. Flip your bag around so that now we're working with the linings. And then same rules apply on this one. So doesn't matter what side you let the opening be in, just don't forget to leave an opening on one of these bases, because that's where we're going to pull the first bag part through, and then we're going to pull the lining through the pocket. And so so I always stitch down the first side completely, and then I leave my hole on the other one. So mark your center and then put it in place. It's cotton, so it doesn't move as much. Some people use waterproof canvas. I use cotton, but okay, so let that roll up. And then same 1/4 inch, but this is where this comes in handy to have that line drawn. But the mark on your machine will do the same thing. Start and stop at the 1/4 again. All right, so this is the final side of this. Hopefully I've made this look just so much easier and it's not so intimidating when you're reading through the pattern, because the first time I tried this I was super intimidated until I did it. One of the testers suggested it and I was like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad. Okay, so here's your measurement, and then center right there. If you tend to forget to leave your openings, of course I'm not talking from experience, haha. Make your marks. So, you know, just kind of come in here like this. That's where you want to leave your hole. And actually, you can leave a fairly large hole here because you're gonna, you just need room to, we're not boxing the bottom. So you actually don't even, you can leave this hole really big. Because the bigger you leave the hole, the easier it's going to be to turn this around. So, just do it that way. Try not to loop this up too hard so you can see it. Hemi, you got allergies? All right, so Start here and sew to your first mark wherever you're comfortable with. And then I just pull the threads. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Okay, so now we're gonna match up these sides. So you're gonna match up your bottom where the two panels come together and the top where the two panels come together. This is fairly important just to make sure that you just get the nice finished look. So I do use my clips for this, and I will put the top and the bottom together, and then I actually will sew those just at those places, and then I'll come back and do the sides, because I just don't want them to move. So I've got these marked and they're all lined up, top and bottom. And then I'm going to move that out of the way. Move that. I'm going to sew these just in the areas where the pieces come together. So right here. You're more than welcome to do it all at once, but the cork likes to move, as does everything else. And I just want to make sure that this piece does not, that it looks put together right there. So I will do a back and forth stitching right there. You're going to go over the top of it anyway, and then the same thing at the top here. So you're going to pull those out of the way. Make sure you're using your seam allowance. At this point, you could zip down all the way if you wanted to, but I know that we're going to have to go from the top to the bottom, so I'm just going to let well enough alone on this one. And then I go to the other side and I do the same thing. It's one of the few bags that I really worry about this on, but it's because of those top and bottom linings that it's really, that's why it's critical. Let's make sure that you're in place, and I just pulled it apart. For me. Okay. There's the bottom part of it, and then I think that this step is a suggestion in the pattern. I don't think it's a, you know, a mandatory thing, but it is a suggestion, and it's a, it's just one that I do. So then start on your lining at the bottom and sew your sides together. I feel like I'm getting close on my bobbin. Kelly. Okay, and because we took the time to stitch this down, it actually goes quite nicely over this. If you do need a stitch, you know, a seam jumper, you know, now's the time to get that out, but just move that all the way down, keep sewing. And then make sure your zipper pulls are out of the way. And then continue on down the side. I don't think me and Bob and Roulette are getting along tonight. I think that we're fighting quite heavily, actually. Sometimes you win, Bob and Roulette. Most of the time you don't. Okay. Good news is, you know, extra practice doing the bobbin. I always push my head open on the bobbin. I know there's people that can do it from the bottom. I can't. I can never figure it out. All right. So, okay. Why don't we put this down? Sounds better when you've got the press your foot down. Okay, so you go all the way to the bottom on the sides. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on this one. I just kind of push the bottom out of the way. I do kind of, you have to fold it in half. There's really not a way around that. But then some people will start on the lining. I just flip it around, and I have these pieces sewn in place, so it's just not, I don't find it's a problem if I start with the main pieces versus the lining on this one. Then come over the top. I tend to do the lining or start with the lining when I'm working on, you know, patterns like the cellmate and that. We are so close. Yay! All right, all the way to the bottom. The magic is about to happen. Okay, so you have to cut your strings at the bottom where you left your opening. So there's your opening on the base. You also have your opening for the pocket. So both of those are openings, and they're ready to go. Get your strings cut. I don't like long strings hanging around in the inside of my purse. So, all right. So now to get these to go flat, you're going to clip right at the quarter lines that right where the stitching stops. Essentially, you're going to do a little clip on the outside, not on the inside where the base is, but on the lining pieces and the main cord pieces. You don't have to do the bottom pieces. So this just kind of helps things move out of your way. Go. So pick your poison. Do you like to do the hard one first or the easy one first? I typically will start with the hard one. That way when I'm getting closer to the end, I'm ready to be done and I've got the easy stuff left. That's why I make the straps when I do. Okay, so reach in and open up the zipper on the inside of your bag. It just makes this a little bit easier. Because then these will come out a little bit easier. So essentially you're going to put these two pieces, this is the hard part, you're going to put these two pieces together so they look like a boxed bottom. So pull them out, pull them even. Open that seam allowance up, just like that. Do the same thing on the other side. I know it's off camera. I will show it here in just a second. Hemi, stop. Okay, so there's the bottoms. You've got them pulled out. I'll probably pull this out a little bit more. I can see where I didn't pull the top out enough. But that's what we are going to sew across. At that 1/4 inch. So now you're going to finagle the top and you're just going to squish this down like this and sew across the bottom. That bottom piece opens up. That's why you trim it the way that you do. Make sure you change your seam allowance, or if it's already there. Probably was already there. I have a steamer that I use to get the wrinkles out, and because I'm doing a live on this one, I'm going to need it because I have to really crunch that out of the way. Henny, Callie, stop. That sounds like she's digging a hole to China. She has to root around until she finds her comfy spot. Okay, next, same thing on this one. We're going to sew this one. So that's how that looks. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same with the bottom. We've already clipped those, but these will be much easier to sew together. It's not that the other ones aren't easy to sew together, it's just cumbersome because it's so thick. Okay. So pull your corners out of the way. They're going to look like this. Let me just move that. There we go. It's going to look like this. And then sew across the base. Essentially, the line of sewing is going to be right where you clipped. And I used to think that that's not going to secure things well enough, but it truly does. And it does not leave a hole. That's the other thing I was always concerned about. But your stitches meet, so it doesn't form a hole. So that's the bottom, and then that's where I just stitched across. So it does work. You just got to trust the process. Put that over. Do the same thing on this side. We're almost ready for the aha moment. You could do a drop-in lining on this if you wanted to. I just don't have a lot of experience at drop-in linings. I know that most people really love them, or a lot of people do. I just don't have a lot of experience. I don't have any experience at them, actually. Okay, so now we're going to reach into the bag. We've already opened that up. As a precautionary, I do typically cut away at the very top to give me room where the turn goes. So I just cut the seam allowance out of the way. Don't cut your stitches. This helps when I'm poking out those edges. Okay, so reach inside through the bottom lining right here. Reach in all the way to the bottom of your bag. Oh, wait. What did I just do with those? Cut your corners. It'll just make things lay nicer. You don't have to cut them on the lining if you don't want to, but do cut just the part here. Just tiny bit, but that tiny bit does make a little bit of a difference when it comes to bulk in those corners. All right, now we're going to reach in. You see how this pretty bag came together. Your Decaville is going to make it a little bit rough to pull through. Just you're back to trusting the process, right? So I poke in the corners and then I pull it through. You're running a marathon, but you're almost there. I've never ran a marathon. I know we're off camera, but there's no way to do this on camera, so I don't have my camera set up the right way. But the sewing was more important. Besides, birthing a bag's like giving birth. It's kind of all ugly until you get it pulled through. There's so much going on in this bag with all of the pockets that It's sometimes just take your time. But that's why it's nice to have that bigger opening at the bottom, because eventually you start seeing things. Oh, that's my husband, sorry. Starting to see progress. Reach in. Keep turning. Keep turning. Get your corners poked out. Don't let your iron turn off at the most critical point of when you need it. This is where this tool comes in super handy. Poke out the bottom, not too heavy because you will poke a hole. You don't want that. Yep, been there, done that. I say all these things from experience. I've experienced all of this. Poke your holes like that. See how nice that bottom is? Nice. Okay. Now at the top, you're going to start just forming it, right? So we're just going to kind of get that started to fold in, get the front of your bag formed, just like that. And now, so we just pulled that through the bottom, push that in there. I always like to stuff everything together, and I just want to look at it before I start closing things up. Make sure of what it looks like, how things fold together. Then when I'm going to poke out this corner right here, I go through the pocket, and then I push this out just like this. So I use my nails and I push this out just like this. See how that nicely starts coming out? Just like that. So I use my nail, I use my chopstick. The chopstick really gets in there and gets it pushed out nicely, just like this. Push it out because you got a nice clean top. This is the key fob pliers that I talk about. Squish. It's hard to do this backwards. So squish. If you do that, then that will give you a nice side right there. I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. Squish that together. Just opens it up. So now what we're going to do is so your pocket is in there. You're going to pull your lining through that pocket like this. Pull the lining through the pocket. So I'm going to do that again. Here's your pocket. It's open because we haven't closed it out. Pull your lining, reach down in, pull your lining through the pocket, just like this. Okay, here's the pocket. Here's everything that we need to sew up right now. So then our lines are already there. Everything is there. We're just going to zip right across here. So flip it over if you need to. If you want to see those lines again, your machine probably has the marks on it. Mine does. Well, I draw it on with a marker because I don't have like on my other machine, you can see the lines. This one does not come with the throat plate, the plate that allows for that. So I have to draw on my 1/4 inch with the marker. It's a love-hate relationship with the Sharpie. So make sure that you get that nice and straight across. Knock up your edges. Zip it down. We're almost there. I don't know about you. I get excited when I get a bag done. Okay. Okay, stuff that back inside. Push everything. So now you still can reach inside your pocket and you can still mess with those corners if you need to get anything put in place that you just don't, aren't happy with. But everything looks pretty good on this one. So I've opened it all up. that one. This is why adding that extra to the top of that pattern is so important, because you can see it bubbles out, but look how nice it lays once this bag is done. It's pretty incredible that it does that. Okay, so now we're going to pull the pocket through, and we're going to finish this up. Make sure you got all your pieces pulled together nicely. And I just do an edge stitch on this. So sometimes I have to take, because it gets kind of thick right here on the edge, sometimes I'll take the key fob pliers and I'll smush it. It's amazing how much torque you can get on those key fob, the pliers. All right, so zip it across. If you've got some loose threads, you can always, burn them like that. And then reach in. I like to make sure that my corners of my pockets are pushed all the way in. Just like that. Close your zipper. Open and close this zipper because you want it to make sure it looks nice. Close that zipper because it looks fabulous. I'm going to throw a bit of steam on that. Add your strap that we've already made. Woo woo. And the Denali Girl is done. Let's see, I'm gonna pull this apart and, oh, bear with me. Here, this, like this. Completed bag. Is anybody still there? Oh, I still do have quite a few people here. Woohoo! Okay, so there's the front of it. And there is the back of it. I love this combo. Oh my gosh, I just love this combo. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Okay. So, let's go here. I hope you guys like that. Deciding how to do these lives with the fact that I switch back and forth on the machines like I do has just been a real struggle. Hi, Vaughn. Ah, yay, Kathy. Oh, this has been such a goal of mine. I cannot tell you. It's been such a goal of mine to do this bag for you guys. Labor of love. I absolutely love this series, the Denali Girl and the Lady Denali. So Yvonne, it is the Denali Girl and the Lady Denali available on fireweedstitches.com. It's one of my series pattern. You can buy, I know, look at it outside. It's awesome. I do sell this as a set of Lady Denali and Denali Girl. Or you can buy them separately if you just want one of them. The Lady Denali is a nice size tote. It has that slant pocket on both the front and the back of it. whereas the Denali Girl has the slant pocket on the front and then the pocket on the back. Oh, thank you. Oh, can anybody hear me? So I have two more that I'm going to do tonight and tomorrow. And one of them is a slate and a black. Vic, you're still here. So a slate and a black, and the black is the textured black from Cork and Cloth. I love it. It looks fabulous, really high end looking. That is the one thing I will say about this black. I wasn't really sure about the reptile one or something, but dang, it looks really nice, and it looks super good with her pearl pink and also the matte pink, or the blush, I think she might call it. But I've put that combination all together a lot, and people just absolutely love it. Yeah, that was silver and bling it up. The purse chains with it just popping. So I'm gonna do the slate with the black, and then I'm gonna do it's a she calls it purple metallic. Ooh, it's gonna be pretty too. So I'm gonna do two more of them that have those in it. And then I gotta try to figure out what else I'm gonna make. I'm just on a sewing mission. This is bag number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 or 15 in a matter of 4 days. Oh man, those purse chains. You know, I was really skeptical when people started asking me to carry the purse chains. I was super skeptical on it because, first of all, it's a lot of an investment. And getting just, I didn't want the long purse chains. Those are super heavy. And so then I started working with a supplier that was able to do exactly what I wanted with the chains. And I have another style that I'm getting ready to have her make for me. And that style, I think I'm going to put lobster clasps on the ends, just to keep it moving, because the movement of the chains, I think, is really important. So, but ooh, they really add to the look. Let's see. So this is one of the chains right here. You start, so this is a 3/4 wide D ring, and then I don't need the, there we go. Okay. Whew. So it just, and I call it XO because you can see the detail on it. It looks like there's a bunch of X's and O's. So they are super cool. They just really dance up a lot of the even when you don't think it's going to dance it up, then I put it on there and people are like, oh, I love that. And so it's really been a lesson to me because I wasn't going to put them on. I wasn't going to order them. It's kind of like the gate rings and the O-rings. I wasn't really going to use them. And then I got them in, and I've created another bag that is not out there on the market that I did for a lady. And oh wow, they're great. They're great. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. For those of you who are catching it on the replay, you know, everybody always says, I guess I should have said it at the beginning, the live at the very top. If it's not red, it means that it's no longer live, but you can watch it on the replay. I appreciate you guys. But hopefully, now that I've got my new camera set up and it's not too confusing for people to watch me rotate it back and forth, I can do more of these. Do I have a bag? I don't have one here because I have shipped them all to the big event. But I think I was going to put one on one of the Denali, so I'll post a picture of it so that you guys can see it. I don't have a problem doing another one on live. I just, I know it gets so late. I can't start a live tomorrow until I could probably start at about 4 because my hubby is on nights and so he has to sleep all day. But I could probably do another one tomorrow just to show it again, just to reiterate it. What'd you guys think of the bottom, closing it through the bottom? Were you able to see all those steps that I was doing, or was there too much blockage on the cameras? Do I need to work on camera placement? Had that conversation with my assistant Natasha yesterday, actually, about having the option to swap out because I really use a lot of cork straps. I'm hoping that Lisa's going to start carrying so that you guys can get more colors in those. That's what I'm advocating for because I will tell you it exponentially ups the value of the bag. It just looks stunning, and I like the colors of the straps to match whatever I'm doing, like the main color. I'm back my camera up for the sewing that portion of the bag. Nice. But anyway, I do like the main color of the bag to be the same color as the strap, but I don't have all of the colors in the cork, and so I did a natural strap on this, but it matched the natural in the butterfly, so it worked. But I do have black and I have the gray and brown, so it definitely is beneficial. I really like the cork straps. I can't stress it enough. And then I just stitch it in the same, I told you guys earlier, I use the same thread on everything. So, but yeah, I agree, Chris, having them at the events, people will swap them out and not bat an eye to pay the extra for that. But what I have to start doing though, is start making the strap tabs. I have to start making the strap tabs in the cork. So that way it's already in cork, because I think it looks wonky if I've put it in nylon and then they want to swap out to a cork strap. I just don't think that's going to work. I love the cork. I really just do. I have some leather and I actually did a bag. Oh, I wish I had that bag. No, that's a new pattern. I have a new pattern that I'm going to start writing. I'm super excited about it. It's super cute. It's a fairly quick sew. It's a bigger bag, but it's a fairly quick sew. But it's just cute looking. And I did that with vinyl. I don't do a lot with vinyl either. I don't know why. I just don't. But to me, vinyl is one of those things that until here in the last year, we really just haven't had a good selection of vinyl. And so it wasn't quality enough. I didn't want to use marine vinyl for my bags. It was a personal choice. Some people love it, and that's perfectly good. I'm not dogging anybody's in their choice in what fabric they use. I just didn't care for it for my market. I've had such a huge, yes, new pattern. I actually have 3 of them that I have been diligently working on and keeping a secret. And if you know me, that is so difficult for me. I would love to share it because I just love sharing everything with you guys. But I can't because it'll end up there faster than I can write the pattern. So sadly. But I do have some, and they're 3 very, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 main ones. They're very distinct designs and I really like them. Like the Denali Girl. I couldn't release the pictures of this until I released the pattern, because that slant pocket would have been taken in a New York second. It wasn't out there prior to that, really, and I've seen a couple of them pop up lately. So I wanted that slant pocket to be unique to this bag, and that's what I did. So I just like new, different, and I mean, you can only make so many shapes of bags, right? You can only, there's just so many shapes that are out there. It's just how you embellish them and what you do with that. I made a all aboard last night and the night before. That's the one I was telling you guys that my assistant doubled the price and the lady was come and get it. But I made that one for the first time in a long time, and I'll tell you, I love the all aboard. It's just such a nice, cute little bag that is great for travel. It's not that I don't like the marine vinyl. I just have not been successful with it at markets. I have some. I actually do embroidery on them. What did I do with my embroidery? Like, look at my fireweed that I stitched out the other day. Isn't that pretty? So, I had a company do my logo, and and I digitized it, and then I had them digitize this flower for me as well. And I don't know where I'll ever use it, but I have it. Yeah, the marine vinyl, I've just never been successful, truthfully, at the markets. Once I started doing the cork, I was just really more successful with the cork. So I stayed with that. I've done some leathers. I've got some leathers. But I will say I do like the vinyl that I ordered. So I don't know if you guys follow the Maggie 55 website, but her clutch wallet, or her zip around wallet. Oh, I see. I don't know what that is. But the gal that posts a lot, Katarina. She gets her vinyl from a source overseas. Trying to think of where that lady is. I don't remember. It's overseas, not China. It's like Yugoslavia or something like that, Slovenia or something. But I did order some from her, and it's really pretty. And the bag that I made the other day of the new pattern is stunning. Is absolutely stunning. And I sat back and thought, well, why haven't I used this before? So you just kind of get into your own head and your own pattern, and you don't try new things until you do. And then when you do, you're like, oh, well, that worked. Yeah, the one that makes she's given all kinds of tips and all kinds of information, and she always has beautiful vinyls. So this was the vinyl that I made that out of. Isn't that just gorgeous? So, and I've done a couple of, I have this wallet in process. I just haven't finished it, but this zip around, and this is one of the ones that she talks about as well. But yeah, this is party. But I have enjoyed this evening, and it wasn't terrible. Let's see, we're right at 3 hours is from when I started to now, and we've been done now for a little while. So that's not a terrible amount of time, I don't think, for the completion of this bag. I'm going to steam it, and I tend to, with the cork, I feel like if I steam it, especially if it has that the Decaville on it, then it kind of just relaxes it a little bit more. We were in Mexico, and the resort that we were at had these handheld steamers. And, I used to have the great big one with the great big water tank, and the handle hangs up. And I had it, but it was in my garage forever. And I think we ended up taking it to the dump. But then when we were in Mexico, they had this one. It's just a handheld one. And it's like, and then just pours steam out. And it will take the wrinkles out of a shirt in a New York second. They are amazing. It's a Conair. Dang if it's not a great steamer. I can do my husband's shirts, which makes me super happy. But I also think it's going to be super helpful for when you're steaming a bigger bag. Yes, Kathy, that is who that is. Yes. Super easy to talk to. She gets back to you really well because when I ordered my stuff, and I've had it now for a year, maybe 9 months, she was having a hard time getting her stock in. She had just gotten a couple of new patterns and was just dealing like everybody else is with stock issues. I mean, I can't even tell you how bad it is right now. I mean, I've got a full restock of hardware coming. We're talking a lot of hardware coming. I bet I will get 15 to 30 boxes. But I had to ship it all by sea instead of shipping it by air freight because the cost was just exponentially higher. We're talking quadruple, if not more. They've got you right now. Where all of the hardware comes from is, well, not all of it. They have different ports that they ship out of, but one of the ports that they're shipping out of just is opening back up. They had a 0 tolerance and a complete lockdown of the entire country area. So, we're dealing with that on a regular basis. And, so I've got this great big order coming. That's a great big restock. All my D-rings, all of my, the rivets and the buckles and the O-rings and, the gate rings and all of that, all is on order. It's shipped. It should be hitting the U.S. any day. And then it's got to get trucked to Seattle, Fife, Washington. And then then it will go on another boat to get to Alaska. So most of the time they ship it into the port and then it just trucks out to the destination. But Alaska has to be unique in the idea that, we're kind of our own world. So then it gets on another boat and it gets into Anchorage and then it gets unloaded there and then it gets on a truck and it gets trucked down to my area and I can go pick it up. So I expect to have that probably in the next 7 to 10 days. No, it'll probably be about 10 days because I think it's just about to hit the States. So, and then the next order will be right behind it, and I'm going to get that. I've even more ideas. So if you guys have any hardware ideas and you want to run them by me, I am. Thanks, Tash. Tash is dealing with the same thing. She's just had box upon box upon box issues and has had to ship them by boat. She has a huge release that's coming out that's been wreaking havoc with her. So it's been kind of frustrating for her. It's been terrible, actually. And then they give her boxes and they're not even her boxes. That's not a pretty day in the office. That was not good coffee conversation. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good at all. That means the other part didn't get on the boat. Everybody's just having issues and we're just really struggling with it. So, but we're trying for you guys anyway. But anyway, I'll get off of here. I've rambled enough. I could talk with you guys all night. I wish it was just more of an interaction. I just wait for the comments to pop up. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me, do this. Oh, I can't wait. Gosh, I can't wait. It's exciting. Okay. I'm getting off. What was I going to say? So hopefully you've enjoyed this. I'd really like to start going live on TikTok. A little bit more interaction there, and I think it might be a little bit faster. So if you bust over to TikTok and you like and follow my page, that would be most fabulous. I'd be most appreciative. I have posted a few things in there just to try to get the stuff up, but I really would appreciate it. It's under Fireweed Stitches. The cool thing, I'll tell you really quick, and then I gotta go because Tasha is working on a project for me. Good night, my friend. I miss you. I can't wait to see you again. I hope it's soon. But I just lost my train of thought. I was going to tell you something exciting, and then it was off to the races. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I'll think of it as soon as I get off the live. But anyway, I know what it was. So there was a company that had Fireweed Stitches prior, years ago, and her business license had expired and all of that. I've been after her to give me her Facebook page, and she wouldn't respond. And I was like, listen, this is my brand. I've got website. I've got everything in place that says I am Fireweed Stitches. I got a message almost 2 weeks ago that she is relinquishing the page so I can take over. Because right now I'm Fireweed Stitches AK. So I get Fireweed Stitches. So I'm super excited. Kathy, thank you. I super appreciate everybody watching. I can't wait to do another one. I'm going to let you guys all go. I appreciate you all. I'll see you next time when I sew something else. Bye, guys.